Hi everyone. Okay, it's Eileen Burns from the Spiritual Marketing Club. Now, I do apologise, this video is done and I don't have any makeup on. It's actually very late on Tuesday night. I should have actually put out the Marketing Spirit online publication today, but I have actually been ill since last week, so I'm a bit behind with things. But I really felt I wanted to reach out to you all for a lot of reasons. And obviously, we've all had a lot of changes recently that's happening. And I felt that it was important to, you know, share, some of my experiences of different things that may help, you all through this experience. So for those of you who don't know, I'm someone that's actually lived in what you would call, in many ways, kind of a very isolated life for at least over 4 years. Okay, now to I understand, I started to develop rare sound sensitivity issues so much. I mean, we're not just talking about sound sensitivity, but extreme horrendous pain in my right ear that nobody seemed to be able to understand what was going on or address. And it started to become a problem after I had sepsis about, I think that was now 6, 7 years ago. And slowly I developed a lot of sort of neurological issues. But I have had a complex medical history, which I'll not go into all, but it appeared that I had late stage Lyme, not according to testing in the UK, but different testing that I'd done in top labs, one in Germany and one in America, appeared as if it was late stage Lyme. Now, I was originally diagnosed as having severe ME in my early 20s. I had spent a large period of time being housebound and bedbound. I also had very rare medical conditions that no one could explain, including a hole at the back of my eye, right? So nothing's ever been straightforward, and that's one of the reasons that I got into this sector and studied a lot of things. But what started happening with me was it was so painful, even people coming into the house and moving things. It could take me days to recover from people, and it was my central nervous system seemed to be very damaged. It was hard to explain, but particularly around the right side. So this caused me a lot of problems in the last 4 years. And to be honest, the last 4 years, most of the time I have spent seeing perhaps my parents at the weekend, and then maybe one or two visitors at the most during that week. Mostly it would be just my parents and then maybe one or two, because I would be so exhausted by the visitors after it. Now, I have slowly got a lot better, right? But I still have a very isolated life. So when, people are struggling at the moment with the thought of self-isolation, I feel that I could really help you all, share some tips. Also, in relation to how you may be looking at your business and other issues that you may be dealing with at the moment. So, first of all, when we look at self-isolation, first thing I would say to you is do not focus in it that it's going to be a certain level of time. I don't focus. I mean, how do I get through my day? How have I managed to get through the last 4 years? By getting up each day and just taking one day at a time, one moment at a time. If I had to psychologically keep ruminating over the amount of time I've been in the house, or possibility that I could be, I could drive myself crazy in that way. I do not perceive it that way. It's about you taking each day and focusing on what you can do. Always focus on what you can do with the situation, not what you can't do. If you start focusing on all the things that you're missing out on, then you start creating problems. And I learned a long, long time ago to be grateful for everything. Okay, well, to be grateful for as many things as you can, right? So that's my first advice. Okay, giving yourself a project and a sense of purpose. My work has kept me sane. And I don't mean, a lot of people, when you say that, they just think that you're going and you're making a lot of money. Don't be misled. I've had a lot of times where I've done a lot of things and put a lot of work and had not a penny from it. But I am motivated by service, and that's what keeps me going. I get up each day and I approach my day by asking for guidance how I can best serve people. And that's how I approach my business, right? And even if you don't feel as if you have technically a business at the moment or things seem to be crumbling, we can all be of service in different ways. But what I'm also going to say here is that I'm going to get back to the issue that I've had the last week. I ended up ill. Why did I end up ill? So there was a few things went on. So first of all, I had an experience where my niece comes regularly to give me a hand now because there's things I struggle to do. I can't do things like obviously hoovering, a noise. And obviously I've always had, how could you say, stamina issues. So there's certain things I struggle to do. So anyway, my niece had been here last week. Now she did take ill and so did her brother. So we're not really sure if it was that, but I also had my father in at the weekend. And we were getting into the thing with the corona, and I did say on that day that he really shouldn't have been here, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings. He didn't stay long. He was here. And then Monday, Tuesday, I started to feel really strange, right? Now, for those of you who are really highly empathic and healers, my energy field felt as if, I couldn't explain it, but I felt as if, first of all, I was actually feeling a collective energy of other people's stuff. That's what I was first experiencing, and felt odd. And then by I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I was actually on a Zoom call with Claire, who's in some of the groups, and we were having a chat, and I was really getting actually confused. I was getting exhausted. I was just not myself, and I was not making sense. And then that night, I started to I had chill, like feeling quite cold. A couple of days before, and I started getting what appeared to be a fever, and it kind of went up and up and up over the last few days. And then last night was a reminder how the mind starts to run away, okay? Now, I'm quite good with a lot of things because I'm used to having so many things, but I also have to be careful of my health because I've had so many rare medical health challenges that I've found that I've been in situations where a lot of the medical profession have not took me seriously because they don't understand my medical conditions. And then it's been very serious, and that happened to me with sepsis. And I've been hospitalised a few times when it's been very serious things, and it's been nearly too late, okay? So I have to be careful. But last night, I took part in a healing session, and I did feel something release and things, but I was getting some strange pain in my chest in the middle of the night. And the mind sometimes, the monkey mind starts to take over, and then it was starting to think, oh, what if this is? You know what? And it reminded me how our mind is a funny thing, and how our mind, if we let it, the mind can be powerful in many ways. It can also be very negative, but we place so much attachment to the mind that sometimes that's where the problem is, and we're not centered. When you're constantly in your mind, or you're trying to even change your mindset, right? That can be a problem as well because you're constantly trying to make things happen. So my advice to you at the moment is, you have to sometimes step back, be the witness to what's going on in your thoughts, and just be that witness, and detach yourself from the drama that's going on. Try and detach yourself from the constant talking about the negative stuff, because we all do it. I come from a big family, so even though I'm not actually seeing my family, and I don't see them that much, what actually I'm getting at the moment is more phone calls and more conversations than any. So I'm oldest of 7 girls and 2 boys. So I've had all my sisters and speak to all my sisters, and they've got all their children and all the fear that's related to that, and people worried about their jobs and not having any work. And most of my family are actually self-employed, so a lot of them are struggling at the moment. And it's so easy to get caught up in that, right? And if we're highly empathic and highly sensitive, it's not just the mind thing, it's picking up on their stuff. So remember to, I don't like using the word protect your energy because I think that can be a very negative connotation as if there's something bad out there all the time. But we have to be more resilient and we have to do things to keep our energy, within us and centered, and we have to keep ourselves healthy so that we can be of service. Okay, so last week, my knee-jerk reaction, I'm very empathic and what you would class as a high nurturer, so I just want to give and want to help. And my instant reaction is, right, okay, what can I do? And I wasn't 100%. And it was a big lesson again and a reminder where we can only serve when we're feeling strong and we are feeling that completely in balance. It's getting that right, okay? This is a reminder that I want to also say to those of you who've, for whatever reason, some of you may not be able to work at all at the moment, and it may be just circumstances. Some of you may have to take care of young children or the elderly or sick parents or whatever. Or maybe some of you, I know some of you are ex-nurses that may feel called to go out and do that, and that's we've got to recognise that doctors and nurses and a lot of other jobs are light workers. Light workers is a term that I actually generally don't use for various reasons, but recently I've been using the word in my marketing because I've been attracting a certain type of audience for the Spiritual Marketing Club. And the reason why before I've always kind of about using that word was I never liked the fact that a lot of people would class light workers as just healers and therapists and things like that, because in my opinion, there's a lot of people out doing jobs like doctors and all sorts of jobs, right, along the board that are actually light workers, right? And they may not see themselves, but they are light workers, right? And I think we've got to recognise that sometimes the spiritual ego and the healing and coaching and therapy industry is actually more stronger than any other type of ego. And we've got to remember that light workers are everywhere. And we've got to take our hat off to all the light workers that are out there doing the work and they're showing up and they're standing up in their way. We all have different gifts to share and we all have different levels of maybe awareness or things that we're supposed to do at this point or at this lifetime. And I think that it's about taking your hat off and saying, right, okay, these people are standing up and they're really doing it for us all. We have to be able to stand up, and that does not mean that you have to just, if you feel as if, well, my business has collapsed, what can I do? We can all do something, even if it's just sharing positive inspiration, being a listener, being that calm, strong energy for everyone else. If we start getting caught up in the monkey mind and we get caught up in the fear and we're sharing a lot of fearful, information, that can really cause a whole sort of cascading, effect. Now, the reality is also sometimes, sometimes I want to share certain things that's helpful, of course, but just be aware of what you're actually sharing. You're not constantly sharing very negative posts that are going to really drag people down. So every single one of us have a purpose at this point, and the only way that we can really fully recognise what we're supposed to do at this point, and I believe part of that is getting more deeper and connecting with the self and connecting with our higher guidance and taking, a day more slowly and spending more time in peace and stillness so that we actually are making wise decisions. We're not caught in the ego, we're not caught in the fear mode. Because a lot of people are making very fearful decisions about their business and not always the wisest decisions. And I would just say to you, you've just really got to be careful at this point, because I know a lot of really good healers, coaches, and therapists, but I've seen them in situations where it's been extreme, where something bad's happened in their business or something negative, and suddenly they make decisions that they're not the most ethical, and it can ruin their reputation. So just be careful that you do not make rash decisions because of financial loss, or do things that you normally ethically wouldn't do. Okay, so just be aware of that. But remind yourself that no matter what's happening, things are changing, right, for you. You can still share your gifts in other ways, by just being that listening ear, by being the supporter, by carrying the light in some capacity. Okay, we don't have to be actually physically doing what you think you were maybe trained to do. It's more than that. Okay, so remember that. But remember, we can only serve others and support others when we are strong ourselves. Okay, so I think that's a key for me now. That's my throat's getting a little bit sore, to stop now. But I want you to look after your health and remember that you're enough. Every single one of us are enough. Okay, so have a healthy week. Bye for now.